You are welcome back to Tuntum Network, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cyrus. I'm happy to come your way again. Thanks to those who have subscribed. Thank you so much. Ghana is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is on my homeland country, Ghana, and I feel so sad to do this episode because indeed Ghana is in trouble. When I look at the kind of Ghana we portray on the internet and the things that constantly exposes us in this country, it's so ridiculous. On the internet, Ghana is supposed to be the best destination for all black diasporans. But you meet the ordinary Ghanaian on the streets of Accra or somewhere in Ghana, and two things are obvious. You see poverty and you see hopelessness. And I'm not exaggerating. For anyone who has been in Ghana before, you would attest to this. There's a lot of that here. And I love my country, and I would never say anything evil about my country. After all, that is the only country that I have. And in addition to that, I'll tell you this, that Ghana has peace in spite of all this. There's a lot of peace in this country. Even though people are struggling to make ends meet, there's still a lot of peace. But as a result of that peaceful culture that we have in this country, politicians have taken advantage of the nation's resources. The kind of struggle that the ordinary Ghanaian will have to go through to make ends meet in a day, you have no idea. It's unbearable. Did you know that the minimum wage of Ghana is only able to buy just about a loaf of bread? Today in Ghana, our minimum wage is just about 14.88 Ghana cedis, which is less than $1.5 for a day. It's actually 1.3 US dollars. But this wouldn't have been such a big deal if prices of goods and services were even low. Ghana's economy makes it one of the most expensive places to live. If you have that 14.88 Ghana cedis per day, which a lot of people don't have access to, what you can actually buy outside of a loaf of bread is some rice and fish, and I mean a very small fish, or wache and one egg, or sometimes beans and plantain. I was reading an editorial by the NPRA, which is the National Pensions and Regulatory Authority in Ghana, dated April 2022. They have stated in there that 80 to 85% of workers in Ghana are within the informal sector, and majority of those who are within this 80 to 85% do not have any pension or retirement fund whatsoever. This is what it actually means, that these workers have no form of financial security. Also meaning that on any day when they are unable to go to work, they don't earn. There is no plan for their future. You will find people hawking on the streets every day in Ghana, selling all manner of things from water to drinks to biscuits to gums and all that. And you ask yourself, how much are they making in a day? They are just about making enough to be able to eat and save just about 5 Ghana cedis, which is less than 50 cents of a dollar. 50 cents of a dollar in one day. How did we get here as a country? When I look at the situation that we have, it's comparable to a car that is running on a low fuel. When you are driving a car and your gauge is red and you know anytime soon the car is going to shut down, the kind of fear that you have. I know in my heart that very soon the economy is going to fall way lower than it is right now because our tank is empty. In the days when our leaders could borrow and borrow, I'm talking about 2016 to 2020, you would feel something was happening in Ghana until 2020 came, and now they are unable to borrow, and as a result, you can see the clear difference. Nothing is being done again, meaning that all the works that they were doing was just being done on borrowed money. Where are our resources? Where are the revenue? What is happening to our own money? The people that we trust and we campaign for, the people that we support to become a president, when they get there, then they forget about everything. They forget about their promises. They forget about what they wanted to do for the country. And it becomes themselves and their families. What they will normally do is get one or two things going, and then they will be pointing at this, continually saying, look, I have done this, I have done that. And they forget about all the other things that are going down. Isn't that a sad situation? That a small country with a small population like Ghana with all that resources that we have, being the second largest of cocoa producer in the world, being the largest producer of gold in Africa, yet we don't have anything to show for it. Isn't that sad? The more I look at the people in this country, when you walk around in the daytime, around 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., when you walk around in town, you see how people, young boys and girls, are sitting home doing nothing. They are not in a hurry to go do anything because there is nothing to do. It breaks my heart. Every time the rain falls for more than 1 hour, there is a disaster happening somewhere in Ghana. Every time. And this situation is recurring, and it doesn't look like it's going to change. I mean, people's houses will be carried away. People's businesses will be lifted away and all that. Every time. Take a look at this. The frustration made people for 3 days demonstrate in Accra, trying to enter into the Jubilee House to vent their dissatisfaction against the government. Because the country has become unbearable. Prices of goods and services you can't afford. Things that used to be very cheap are all gone. The prices have changed. And our salaries are the same. Income is the same. Taxes have gone up. The same people who promised to reduce taxes have made it even higher than it used to be. I mean, all manner of things are happening in this country. By the end of the day, the Ghanaian youth is still patient and is still silent and is still comported because we haven't lost our conscience yet. So I get pissed off when I hear politicians say the youth of Ghana spend time in churches praying all day. I mean, where would you have them go? Tell me. Where would you have them go when they have no hope for anything? When their rent is almost due and the landlord has increased the rent so high and is still demanding for 1 year advance payment? Where would you have them go? Where would you have them go when they are sick and they need medication and they know they cannot afford? Where would you have them go? Tell me where you would want them to go when they find a small job and the salary they get from that job is less than the cost of transportation in and out of the job place. Where would you have them go? I promise you this, if Ghana didn't have such a great religious foundation, this country would have seen more coups and robberies more than in any country in Africa. The Ghanaian youth still have their conscience intact. I'll promise you this. Ghanaian youth aren't stupid or lazy or not daring. We have some of the most hardworking people in the country. How do I know this? Because everywhere Ghanaians go or travel to, they find a way to engage in a decent job rather than, involving themselves with deviant lifestyles. I can tell you this for sure. But why can't they do it here? Because the system here doesn't compensate hard work. The system here is built for people who can rise up in political offices. They get into politics, they get into a position, and instantly they become millionaires. Instantly they are able to buy big cars and own big properties left, right, center. This is what the society in Ghana encourages. This is what the system compensates. A few minutes ago, Mr. Alan KYEREMANTEN announced that he's going independent. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising. We are at the crossroad in Ghana where we need quality leadership. It's not about political parties anymore. At this point, we need somebody who has the courage to drag Ghana to the point of development. So as it stands now, we have Kennedy Japan, who is coming in from the NPP. Dr. Baumia, who is the vice president right now, also coming for the NPP. John Mahama, who has been president before and is coming in for the NDC. And then we have Alan KYEREMANTEN, who has now gone independent. And it's all good for the country. By the end of the day, Ghanaians we should open our eyes and ask the right questions. Hopefully, by that time, Tuntum Network will be able to bring in some of these people and then ask them very, very important questions. Things have to change. Ghana must see some development. We cannot just allow this to continue like business as usual. It has to give way for a new breed of leadership. Somebody like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who can come in with plans, ideas to transform this nation. So we'll wait and see what will come out by December 2024 when we go to the polls and make a decision who becomes the leader of this country. One thing I learned about leadership is it is so easy to lead when everything is in place for you or when you have access to all the money that you want. But leadership doesn't actually start from there. Leadership begins when you get to a point where your resources are so scarce and you have to make use of what you have. And that is where our leaders fall. They fall flat on their face. When they have access to go for loans, then it looks as if they are busy, they are doing something. The moment you cut off the loans, then they cannot think outside of the box again. So they all come talking against loans, and then they come into power, and that is the only thing they have on their minds because it's so easy. The president of our country has given up on his job. The country is overwhelmed by loans. Cost of production is extremely high. Unemployment is everywhere, and nobody is accountable. This is the state of Ghana. In 20 to 40 years, most Ghanaian youth of today will be about 60 years on retirement. What will be their fate? You know the kind of problem that is awaiting this country when that time comes? Who will these people be depending on? People who have always been in the informal sector, with no form of pension or retirement package awaiting them. What will be their fate? And this particular problem had made so many Ghanaian youth leave the country. Canada is calling, USA is calling, UK is calling. All of our professionals, our doctors, our nurses, our mining engineers, our IT experts and all that, they are leaving the shores of Ghana because it doesn't make sense for them to be here. You work here for 10 years and you have nothing to show. Somebody travels for 3 years, he comes back, puts up a very big house, buys a big car, and you are like, what just happened to me? Did you just waste your time living in Ghana? This is the plight of the Ghanaian youth. The system within doesn't offer any opportunities for the youth to have anything going. That is the problem. Ghana is not doing well. Our finances are gone. Everything is out of order. But a good thing is this. Next year, there's going to be an election. A new leader will come up next year. That is what we are banging our hopes on. That hopefully, the people of Ghana will make the right decision and bring in a person who has the nation at heart, who has plans to move this country forward. Everybody has a reason to vote. I encourage everybody to participate in this voting next year with all seriousness and not to be carried away by our partisan politics, because at the end of the day, it affects every one of us. Our country is sinking. We need someone to save this country. We need a true leader. We need Kwame Nkrumah to come back for this country. Honestly, we need him back. We need him back alive, because ever since he left, nothing has been the same. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Until I come your way, it's bye-bye for now.